All right, well, what my course is about, or at least one of the courses that I teach frequently, is Advanced Academic Writing. And this course deals with writing arguments primarily, and learning how to use research to support an argument. And so um, those are the focuses of the class, but of course we're also trying to teach students how to write more effectively in general, how to see writing as a process, and how to learn certain writing skills that they can then use later on in other classes, in their work, in their lives, any context in which writing is done. And the course also involves, to a certain extent, being able to analyze other people's arguments, so that students learn better, like, what is a person doing when he or she is communicating with them? What strategies might he or she be using, so that they can see what's behind the literal words that are being spoken or written, which is useful because then you understand better what people are trying to communicate, and maybe what's behind the communication, what their purpose is, what things they might be trying to make us feel or think, beyond just what they're literally saying. And I think that's an important skill too. So in terms of what students will get out of this that they can use outside of school after graduation, I think the ability to understand how language works better, the ability to communicate effectively, both in writing but also just in general, and the ability to use language in ways that are going to make it as effective as possible. And so I think it's useful whether you're talking about in a class, in a business context, in a job, because most jobs require writing anymore, but even in one's personal life. I mean, communicating with people by email, talking with people, having to do a presentation for some group that you're part of, any situation in which you have to communicate. I think this course will help you to be able to do that more effectively. So, and you also asked about, like, what makes the course unique or fun. I might change it to what makes the course interesting, or how do I make it interesting. And I think the ways that we talk about issues, I try to focus the course on things that are current, so that that in itself is interesting to the students, and hopefully they can find topics that are interesting to them to work with, so that that makes the work more effective for them. And the way we talk about writing and using language and using certain stylistic features in order to make your writing more effective, I think is interesting, because it's fun to play with language, and so I try to get them to have some fun with words at first, and then to think about, okay, if we use these techniques like parallelism, say, more seriously, how can you use that to make your writing more effective, so that you can communicate well with others. I usually have a general issue, like, often my course is focused around, like, food, for instance, the way the food system works and so forth, and so a topic is going to be limited in terms of something related to that, but then there are a variety of topics they can choose from that relate to the food system, how it works, alternative kinds of food, or environmental issues. And of course there are hundreds of environmental issues that one can work with, and so they can choose within the general topic area that we're talking about, yes.